besties, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a wrap-up video. We're going to be talking about all the books that I read in April. I'm so excited to film this because I had the best reading month ever in April. So many good new releases, so many 5-star reads. Went on quite the reread journey as well, but we'll get to that a little bit later. To go over the stats really quickly, I read 10 books in April. 5 of them were fantasy, 2 of them were fiction, and 1 of them was romance. That doesn't add up, does it? 6 of them were fantasy, 3 of them were fiction, and 1 of them was romance. And without further ado, let's talk about them. The first book that I read in April was Deep Cuts by Holly Brickley. I think I saw like one person talk about this book and was immediately intrigued because the main character is obsessed with music and I am also obsessed with music. Every different era of my life is related to different albums and songs in my head. So I related a lot to our main character for that reason. The main character is named Percy and we're following her throughout her years in college and throughout her 20s. She's a bit of a genius when it comes to songwriting and she meets this guy Joe in college who has a lot of musical talent. They come together and create songs that end up like being on the tops of charts. So they clearly work very well together, but they also have a lot of underlying feelings for one another, which throughout the book they never really act on. So there's a lot of push and pull and yearning and angst. But I just love this book for the vibes. It's very much day in the life vibes, coming of age type of story. And as someone who was 13, 14 years old on Tumblr during the indie sleaze era, I loved getting to read about someone who was in their 20s during that era and getting to go out and listen to all that music. So yeah, this book was just a super fun read for me. Every time I picked it up, I didn't want to put it down. I ended up giving it 5 stars. I then read The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. In this book, we're following Georgia, who comes from a very conservative and judgmental family who lives in South Carolina. In her teens, she was kind of shipped away to live in London, where she attended school and grew up. And she never really came back home until her father passes away, forcing her to kind of come back and see everybody once again. She has 3 siblings, but only one of them that she's close to, Oliver. And Oliver comes home to South Carolina with his AA sponsor, Sam Penny. And Georgia and Sam immediately hit it off, but Georgia can sense that Oliver maybe has feelings for him too. So that's a big area of contention. There's also a whole mystery that unfolds where Georgia's abilities really come in handy. I don't know if I mentioned, but her profession involves like reading body language and reading people's emotions, which was really cool to read about. But yeah, this was another amazing, beautiful 5-star read for me. I think potentially my favorite book that I've read so far this year, just because I love Jessa Hastings' writing so much. I feel like I sound like a broken record saying that, but the Magnolia Park series are some of my favorite books ever, and this one is now up there too. I then hopped right into another new release. If you guys haven't watched it yet, I filmed a reading vlog reading all new releases, so I'll link it below. But the next new release that I read was obviously Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. This book wasn't exactly what I was expecting. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it. It did really pull on my heartstrings and I had like emotional reactions to it. And I do overall still really enjoy Abby Jimenez's writing, but there were a couple of things that I did not absolutely love about this book. So what I suspected would be a 5-star read ended up being more of like a 4-star read, which is totally fine. That's still a good rating. It just isn't my favorite book that I've read by her. Our main characters are Sam and Xavier, and they have a really funny and silly meet cute. Xavier is a vet and Samantha brings her kitten in to see Xavier. They immediately have a lot of banter and Samantha kind of has something she wants to prove to Xavier, which results in them seeing each other again and him asking her out on a date. They have this incredible whirlwind date, but it happens to be on the night before Samantha's moving across the country. I've seen a lot of people say that this gave major Insta-love vibes, and honestly, I didn't even realize till people pointed it out, but it totally does. They see each other twice and then become so obsessed with one another that they're gonna do long distance for this prolonged amount of time. Maybe I didn't catch that because I did something similarly in my personal life. But on top of that, Samantha is dealing with her mother who is suffering from Alzheimer's. So there was a lot of sadness that had to do with that on top of all the sadness that had to do with her relationship. So this book was essentially just a big bummer, but I loved the way things got tied up in the end. There was this big full circle moment that was beautiful and I really enjoyed. Next, I read Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake, and I had so much fun reading this book. Olivia Blake's writing is just like candy to my brain. I don't know how else to describe it. I can't even really compare her writing to any other authors that I've read. If you guys have any comparisons, let me know because I'd love to read other authors who are similar to her. In this one, we have these 3 siblings whose father has also just passed away, similarly to in The Conditions of Will. But all of them have these odd, mysterious things going on in their lives. They have to do with these magical abilities that they all have. So they're dealing with that, also waiting to see who's gonna like inherit the shares in their father's company. Their father is this majorly rich guy in the tech industry, very similar to Logan Roy if you guys have ever watched Succession. Also similarly to Logan Roy, he was a horrible person. So he's inflicted all these traumas onto his kids who are struggling with the pipeline of being talented and gifted children and are now depressed adults. So yeah, If a rich people drama with little sprinklings of magic sounds interesting to you, I would definitely recommend this one. I ended up giving it 4 stars, I think. All right, then I read A Sea of Unspoken Things by Adrienne Young. I was super excited to get to this one because one of my favorite books I read in 2024 was Adrienne Young's other book, The Unmaking of June Farrow. This was another book that wasn't exactly what I was expecting it to be. I guess that's also kind of my own fault because these are expectations I made myself. In this one, we're following James as she's uncovering mysteries surrounding her brother's death. These mysteries take her to woodsy areas in Northern California, takes her to Oregon as well, so I loved those aspects of it because it really painted a picture that I could fully imagine. Very atmospheric, dark, misty, Twilight-esque setting. But honestly, I don't have much to say about this book other than that. It ended up being a little bit lackluster for me. I feel like the way the mysteries came together were kind of just okay. Like, the only thing I really enjoyed about this book was the way Adrienne Young depicted the setting. I think it's like worth a read. Like, I had a fine time reading it. I listened to the audiobook actually. Just not a favorite, so I ended up giving it 3 stars. And then I did this, you guys. Finally read my beautiful copies of The Hunger Games. I read The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Mockingjay, and then I read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes for the first time. These 2 are 5 stars for me, and these 2 were 4 stars for me. I actually just finished filming a Hunger Games reading vlog where I read all of these, and I read Sunrise on the Reaping on my Kindle. So I'll be posting that very, very soon. So I won't talk too much about those books. Oh, I ended up giving Sunrise on the Reaping 5 stars as well. All I will say is that I feel like I'm 13 years old again and obsessed with the Hunger Games because it's all I can think about. I am amazed by all the aspects of Sunrise on the Reaping that just add to everything from the original trilogy. Let's put this up here. And I literally cannot wait for the Sunrise on the Reaping movie to come out. I am going to be sat in that theater ready to bawl my eyes out. And with that, these are all the books that I read in April. I literally had 5 5-star reads in April, which is crazy. That means half of the books that I read in April were 5 stars. So I think it's safe to say that this was the best reading month ever. I'd love to know your guys' favorite book you read in April, so please comment it down below, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye!